Hey everyone, it's CurlyHairedHero, and welcome back to Prince of Tennis 2005 Crystal Drive. We're in the semi-finals of the R-1 Trial Singles Tournament. We're using here 3 copies of Hiyoshi just to get through this. He is one of the members of Hyote, for which this entire season has more or less been themed on, because I'm trying to get a bunch of Hyote characters. He is one of the last remaining... I'm using him to get one of the last remaining characters, which is Kabaji. Okay, we've already lost. The fuck? Alright, so now I said last time Hiyoshi is supposedly one of the best characters to go through and unlock stuff with in this game. That would be the case if it weren't for his shitty ass grip. Which, for once, kind of makes sense, because he holds his tennis racket like a complete fucking dweeb. As I've mentioned several times, he's just like this weird anime dweeb. The anime part probably isn't true, but he's just a fucking dweeb. So it makes sense that he has really bad grip, I guess, but yeah, keep an eye out for that. Since Momo here is a big, strong chunker, I have to use the two-handed hit here for most of the hits. Until I get my special here, then it doesn't matter. So apparently grip is irrelevant, which makes sense. I would have hated it if this game was like, you have a chance of, you know, losing your grip when you use a special, but... Sorry, had a big old yawn there. That would really suck, especially considering that the grip system is kind of random. You know, there really isn't anything that determines when you lose your grip on your racket, aside from the fact that some moves increase the chance of it, or guarantee it maybe even. And it really just comes down to the difference between the opponent's power and your grip meter. But it's not like if you get hit with a bunch of moves in a row, you know, that makes it more difficult, or, you know, anything of that sort. As you can see by the fact that I literally just started the match and immediately lost my racket, right? So you can tell that is definitely not the case. But I did want to touch up on something that I had mentioned, I think, 2 episodes ago. I was just mentioning how I was going off on a tangent, but I had mentioned how I took a break from this game and I brought it back, and you know, I wanted to try and complete it next season, and like I said, I've been wanting to complete it for a while, but I've kind of gone into a weird place right now with uploading stuff to YouTube. So I've gotten to the point where I'm trying to sort of focus a little less on YouTube, and this has kind of been the case for the last, I want to say, 2 years. Whereas like before, I was uploading like every single day, sometimes multiple videos a day, like all these kinds of things, and all these different kinds of videos, and you know, I would do like 5 different series at once, and like some sort of crazy nonsense, right? But then eventually I kind of learned how effectively I can put out content that's, you know, decent, and while also keeping my sanity and getting things that I need to do done and whatnot. But in general, since I've been kind of busy with work more usually the last couple of years, because I've been working full-time jobs, whereas when I started YouTube, I was just working a part-time job, so I had a little bit more time. It was kind of like fake part-time in that I was actually working like 32 hours, so not like the 20 hours that you're used to for a part-time job. So I was working an extra 12 hours, so it was basically almost full-time without them actually giving me full-time benefits. It was one of those kind of crappy situations, but nonetheless, I'm working full-time now, which means I'm working 40 hours a week, and I've been doing that for a good long while. And it's kind of tiring, but it also gives me less time to do stuff, obviously. And coupling that with the fact that I'm always tired from it, or usually tired from it, that's made things a little bit difficult for me to record. One of the other thing is that I've started living with my girlfriend, and she's like, you know, super supportive about me recording. She's even on the channel now. She's, you know, we do curly and cream videos where we just do videos together now. A little bit more on that later, actually. And it just makes it a little bit difficult for me to find the time to record, whereas before it was kind of like I just had all this free time. But now, you know, I kind of want to spend some time with her and whatnot, as well as have my own free time as well. So trying to balance that in with like recording and whatnot has been a little difficult. But I've kind of found the balance where like I mainly just record everything in one day and then try to record it, or sorry, try to edit it throughout the week. And it's been working for the most part. But what I want to try and do, what I've always been trying to do since like God knows how long, I've always had this concept of trying to get really ahead of with my videos, in terms of like having a lot of content for you guys ready to go. So I have like a nice chunky pipeline of like, you know, a month worth of video recorded, edited, rendered, uploaded, scheduled, all good to go. So I have this nice big cushion of videos where my mindset would always, if I were to take a whole month off, or maybe 3 weeks to be more accurate, I still have videos out there, you know, and I can take care of life if it happens. I can focus on other things while also, you know, pushing out some concept, right? Because I think consistency is really important, but I also just like being consistent. It kind of like works both. YouTube has worked both to help my mental well-being, but also hurt it. It's helped it in that I've been able to be more like confident and better like public speaking and all that kinds of stuff, because I'm recording, you know, because of the streaming and all that kind of stuff. And I've been able to like explore a lot more things and like talk out my problems, just here in a mic, you know. Been my own personal therapist for quite a couple of years, that kind of stuff. It's pretty useful for that. But it also kind of allows me to express myself creatively, which I've been trying to do a lot more of as the years go by. I just can never really find what it is exactly that I want to do creatively on YouTube. I'm gonna like let this slide, because if it hits me I lose my racket. But I've been trying to find out my like thing, like I guess my purpose or whatever, on YouTube as a form of content. But I've just struggled to try and find that, right? But I've just in general been using it as an outlet for creativity, and it's really helped me in that sense. And also the sense of like having videos and scheduling them and having them come out on a scheduled basis, you know. Even though this isn't a job and I'm not making money off of it and all that kind of stuff, it gives me a nice sense of like organization, I guess, or stability, you know, that, you know, that I can kind of be like, well, at least this, I've got this going for me, like this is stable, right? Like I can fall back on it kind of deal. So that's where it helps me out mentally. Whereas it sort of like damages me mentally when I don't have that kind of like creative output, and I don't feel like I'm doing much creatively with the space. That hurts me and puts me down. And then also when I think to myself about trying to make sure that I stay on top of stuff and I do more stuff and I constantly gotta be making content and all this other kinds of things, right? That's where it hurts me. So I've been trying to find a nice balance where I can have videos out, but then also at the same time I can just live a normal life and, you know, do the things that I want to do. And I know that I want to try and start focusing more and more every single day on more game design stuff. But the problem is that I never have time for any of it. Or, it shouldn't say I don't have time, right? It's that I'm not really making time or not finding the time. Because I can easily, rather than doing YouTube or Twitch or any of that, use that time for game design, right? But unfortunately, I enjoy doing this kind of stuff. So it puts me in a very hard, very difficult situation. But basically, you know, we'll get into it a little bit more next time. Take care of yourself.